It's another update on AMD. So what's been going on this past week? So as you can see from my chart, we've got Monday. It was up a little bit. So last Friday we were at 10.81, ending the day around I think 10.8788. But then Monday it goes up, and then it continues to go up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is all they're saying due to the cryptocurrency mining and the GPUs being sold out, because the RX 480 is apparently the cheapest and most cost effective. The most, well, it's the most efficient card out there. So that was sold out, and then people went for the newer ones, the 580s, 570s, and they were all sold out. So because of that, they're saying it went up. Plus the Apple deal, Apple put Vega into their high-end all-in-one computer. So because of that, they're saying it went up. Now the interesting thing about this is I've been looking at the news and people's comments for past 5-6 months now, and there was one thing about what was it, the market, the street, CNBC, Jim Cramer, what he was saying. So he said previously, whenever they asked him about AMD, he'd say it's an okay company or something like that. It was very mellow, very toned down, his comments, right? And then recently he had an interview, and he said, I think this was yesterday before, and he said that AMD is worth more than what people think it's worth. Right, that's number one. And secondly, he also said that when AMD fell down, had a dip, he took that opportunity to buy. Right? He wasn't saying this before. I didn't see him saying this on May the 1st or after that. I don't remember reading anywhere that he was saying, this is an opportunity to buy, guys, buy it up. He wasn't saying that. But now he's saying it. Right? So this is, if you think about it, it's like manipulated to help. So is this a signal that they want to sell out? So they want to pump the stock and then sell out? And this was actually, I think this was on Thursday or sometime like that. And what he said also was sometimes AMD gets ahead of itself and then it consolidates and then it continues moving forward. Was that again a signal to everyone? Look, hey, there's a downward move coming, which is what happened yesterday on Friday, right? But it was coming down, and I was thinking about it. I was thinking, well, is this another dip all the way down to $10? But then I thought, nah, it's not. That's not possible, because before the news came out about the cryptocurrency mining, that they're selling out GPUs, and the Apple presentation, right? Where was the stock? It was at 10.8, right? Or if you want to take the other view, that it was on the news came on Tuesday, so Monday closed at 11.24. So after the news, so it's close to 11. So after the news, after all that selling, it should at least be worth 12.5, right? Just with that information on top, right? So when it went down to 11.6 here, and this was crazy, it was like in a straight line all the way down, like that, and it was a very similar thing within the video as well, right? But when it came down to 11.66, I thought, nah, this is worth way more than that. I'm holding on. I don't care. So I left it alone and it went back up, right? But this is the issue with it. When people try to value the stock, right? They just think, well, it's like the sheep go with the herd. So whenever it's falling down, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Oh, it's going down, going down, going down. Whenever it's going back up, people jump on the bandwagon. Oh, it's going up, going up, going up. And at some point it corrects a little. But it was very, very telling, how people behave. And the other main thing was that the entire market was down yesterday. I don't understand that. What made? They said the Nasdaq was down by 1.14%. But you can see my entire list here. So you got, that's just Glencore. That's a UK-based company. So that was up. But AMD down 4.8%. Nvidia down 6.46%. You got Tesla down 3.4 or 3%. Micron Technology down nearly 6%. You just see the list: 2%, 3%, 3%, 4%. Right? LRCX, they actually make the RAM for the computers. They're down. Shopify is down. Burberry, Nokia. Why are they down? I mean, the Activision, the gaming sector. Avago, that's Broadcom. They had good earnings. Why is that down? No idea. Amazon's down. That's a pharmaceutical company. And these guys are down as well. So across the board, pretty much, everybody's down. Why? There's no explanation to this. But they're down. Okay, moving on to what else we have, right? I don't know why the market's down, what's going on, but let's cover the rest of it. So this was the last piece of news on Friday. So AMD has launched a FreeSync monitor. Basically, it's the FreeSync technology, FreeSync 2, and it's on a Samsung HDR monitor, which is 49 inches. So we'll see what impact this has on the stock. But it's kind of crazy, if this is meant to be good news and the stock is meant to go up. I had an entire list of good news last time round. So let's just go back to the chart. So 6-month chart. So we were there. So around this time we had a ton of good news. And just go back to it. So if I go back, so where were we? May, that's May. And then if we go back to, where was it? All them launches. See if I can find this. That's January, February, March, April time. Yeah, so you had here Ryzen 5 launch, RX 500, yeah, annual shareholders meeting. I mean, all these things that happened, but nothing, the stock didn't go up. Then the financial analyst day, I mean, that was, they showed Epic there, the server CPU. Nothing happened. The stock didn't go up, right? So why, it doesn't make any sense. And then we've had all this as well, all these presentations this past week. There's nothing now for the next 6 weeks. I think it's 5 weeks and some days till earnings, and we've got nothing. No more events as far as I know. But I was thinking, I put a target of $17 to $20 based on what I know currently, right? So the server market, they have next to zero their percentage of that market, and then they're going to launch the Epic server CPUs, and that will give them a huge chunk, I think, of that market, definitely. So that, based on that alone, and what they have with Vega coming out again, Nvidia is showing the way. They've said, okay, if you do AI, deep learning, all the rest of it, with the GPUs, you're going to make quite a lot of money again within the server data center market. So they've shown the way and they've tripled profits. So Vega can do the same thing, and then couple that with the Epic CPUs, they're going to have a huge amount of revenue coming in, and that's going to bring the stock price up. So that's based on what we know. That's what I'm saying, but it could be far better. You don't know. There's many things that we don't know. Like, we didn't know about the Apple integration of Vega into their high-end all-in-one computer. We didn't know that, so that's new. We didn't know the cryptocurrency thing, which has taken off. That's new. So there are many things that are unknown that would come out, and it could boost the stock up even further. So I think it's very conservative, $17 to $20, very conservative, and we haven't seen it yet. There hasn't been the response yet from people. People who buy and sell shares, they haven't given that response so far, and they will. I think once you have earnings, positive earnings or earnings beat, good forward guidance, Absolutely, this thing is going to go up. I think it'll go past the $15 mark and way up. That, I mean, nobody can argue with that. Once you have the earnings, right? Doesn't matter how much they talk down the stock. Once you have the earnings, there's no way you can argue against that. It's in front of you. So I think it'll go up after earnings. As for now, I think we're still next week. It could. I mean, it's a Monday, so Fridays are always down days anyway. So this happened on Friday from there to there. So Monday it could still go back up. But again, like I say, good news sometimes doesn't matter. Like we had, through this period here. This was all. I mean, there were good news coming out. They had the refresh of the GPUs coming out at the time. Ryzen was being launched at the time. The annual shareholders meeting was being done. So all these things were happening, and the stock still went down based on Goldman Sachs, right? So I take it with a pinch of salt. I'll leave it alone. I just want it to go to my price target, and then I'll think about selling. But for now, I think it's just messing around. Is it worth 12.28? I think between 12 and 13, right? Based on what the market is saying. So the market is saying it's worth around 11, right? Before you put that news in about the cryptocurrencies and Apple. So after that, I think 12 and a half, something like that. So between 12 and 13, that's what I'm saying. That's what it should be. So between there and there. So that if it ranges between that for a few weeks, that's fine. If it gets overbought for a little while, that's fine. But really, over the longer term, if they really bake in all the good news, then that's fine. It should go quite a bit higher. I find it weird that Nvidia can go up. What is it to? It went to 168, I think it was, at its highest point, right? So 168, so you can go as high as that, and based on hype and the future, but AMD can't even break to 17 or 20. So and keep this in mind. I mean, Nvidia it's at its all-time high, so it's way up there. If you want to look at the Nvidia chart, just look at this chart. Let's do the max chart. That is the max chart. Look at that thing. That is like being at the top of the mountain. Crazy, right up there, right? Compare that to AMD, and we're down here. We haven't even hit all-time high yet. We're nowhere near that. Yeah. If you go back, let's see what the previous all-time high was for Nvidia. So this is previous, is at 33. So they passed 33. Went straight up and up and up. Look at how much more. What would that be? That's 3 times more, maybe 4, 5 times. Right? All-time high. If we applied that over to AMD, right? The all-time high is at what? It's this one, isn't it? It's 43. Right? You times that by 5. Stock should be at what, $200? Right? And we can't even break through 20. We're struggling there to get to 20. It's just craziness, madness. It's just so crazy. But I mean, this one I think is valued better than Nvidia because of where it's at. Nvidia is just way overhyped, way overhyped. I think it needs some real results to show. And I think what they did is one of the main things they did at the last earnings was they gave money back to shareholders, and that makes a big difference. So AMD is not able to do that yet. They don't have the cash. They're not even in profit right now. They'll barely get into profit this year. Maybe this next quarter they might, if they have earnings beat, they'll be in profit. But Nvidia, had good results, as expected. But the one thing was that they gave, so earnings per share, they gave back quite a bit to stockholders. It's huge. That was the main thing. and they can afford to do that, and that's why they're pumping up their stock. But with AMD, it'll get there. So just be patient, guys. The other good news for if you're in the UK, I mean for us anyway, the election happened, and the pound went down. So I bought in at 1.225 with the pound. So basically, I had to convert my money from pounds to dollars and then buy the shares. So in AMD, and at that point it was at 1.225. So I'm losing about 5% on the pound alone. So I would like it to come back down again. And I understand everyone else is suffering, but I would like to get my money out. Once this goes to my target price of 17 to 20, I would like that to have come down by that time. But interestingly enough, I mean, if you look at the chart, let's go back to a 10-year chart. So this is 2014, and it continues its trend down. So we have this drop here. This is the '08 crash, right? So the $2 comes all the way down here, then plateaus, and then we're going sideways for a time, and then from 2014 it starts to go down, right? And now we kind of plateaued sideways again. But if it continues its downward trend, so here we had a bit of a plateau as well, but if it does continue its downward trend, I expect it to continue sometime in June. Actually, by the end of June it should start going down again, and then by the end of, I did the calculation, by the end of next June, so June next year, it should be at 1.21. So we're just waiting for that, see what happens there. But that's what it is. So right, guys, I think that's it for today. The monitor's coming out if you want to check it out. So it's AMD FreeSync. You can just Google that. Well, I'll put the link, I think, in the description. Once again, I'll put the links into those couple of books if you're interested in knowing how to generate some cash just to start off. If you want to invest in something and you haven't got the money, and you just want to know how is it that you get the money in the first place, just to maybe if you're in America, maybe $20,000-$30,000, how do you save that up? Or if in the UK, how do you put together £10,000-20,000 just to get started, have a decent chunk to put into stocks or into something to make some money. There are a couple of books. If you read them, you'll know, right? I also have a different way of doing things where I do a part and part. So you can read those books but apply them say on a full-time basis, but on a part-time basis have a job as well, because a lot of it is when you're doing this kind of stuff, there's no guarantee that it'll work. I think the numbers are, I think it's about 90% of all businesses in the UK fail in the first couple of years. So it is risky. So if you have a part-time job, if you do fall, then at least you can eat and live. But if you just put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, then when you fall, then you're really gonna feel it. So that was my approach. It worked for me. But these books, they do show you the way my thinking was, which is completely different to other people's. So I'll give you a couple more examples. One is I live by absolute necessity. I don't spend any extras. I don't have many pairs of clothes, just no extras. Live by necessity. Take every single penny that you have above and beyond your basic living needs and invest it. That's one thing. The other thing is whenever I start something new, like I was doing the stocks, I give myself 6 months worth of living expenses. And because of this, May crash, where's it gone? 6 months. So because of this crash here, at this point, I thought it would take me longer to get to where I want it to go. So I knew I had the money until end of June, right? But the percentage chance was pretty high that I would run out of cash, right? So can't pay my living expenses. So what did I do, right? Instead of going and taking money from elsewhere where I've invested in the past, and I can take money from that, instead of doing that, I said, this is my problem, right? I made the choice to to try something new. Yeah, I have this problem where I'm going to out cash, so I have to fix it, right? I only go to that, to old investments as a last resort. I think somebody offered me some money as well. Said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You can borrow some money from me." And I said, "Yes, thank you for the offer." But the key thing is, I mean, at that uh, point when they were offering me the money, I was in profit. I was up here, I think, somewhere. So I said to him, I should only be taking money from you if I'm in the red. Basically, I'm losing money, which is at this point, right? But still, I said I would only take the money if I had tried absolutely everything else and nothing worked. So what did I do? I went out and got a job. so yeah. So I'll that's me. I'll go out. I'll find a job. If I need a bit of a cash boost, I might transfer some money across. Do that. But overall, what I'm trying to do really is push myself forward and not punish other people. So if you have somebody else, say you invest in a business, somebody's running it for you, they've made so much profit, they want to invest that into something, and they've got it set aside for that, and you've said to them, look, hey, you can invest the money, I'm not going to ask you for the money, and all of a sudden, you come along and you say, hey, I invested some money as well, and I have a bit of a problem, so I need to take that money that you've been saving, right? That kind of puts a dampener on them, and it also brings them down because they think, well, this guy, he used to be pretty good, and now he's taking money from me, so maybe he's not doing so well. And at what point will he say to me, I want to sell the business or something like that, and it makes them a little nervous. So I try not to do any of that. I have never in my life had to take any money from any other source of income that I have created myself. Never in my life. I just have this. I work. I do my own thing. I'll invest. If I lose, or if I'm going to potentially lose and I can see it, or if I'm going to get stuck, like in this case, I was just going to get stuck. I wasn't going to lose any money. But if this situation happens, then it's up to me to fix it. I need to find a job. I need to do something, and that's my problem. I have to do it, and that's the way I work. So it's a different mentality, a different way of thinking. One of the key things I realize when I talk to people is, even people who own businesses, is that they become complacent. They think, okay, I made it now, so now I'm not going to work hard anymore. I'm not going to try anymore, and what I'll do is I'll just my business is making so much money, and I'll just take from that and I'll eat and I'll just relax. And that's when you get hit, when you start relaxing and sitting on your laurels. Remember, your competition's out there, the people are out there, they're trying to knock you off your perch. So at some point they'll knock you down, because they're working hard and you're just relaxing, sitting at home. So it's a constant battle. It's not easy. And for me, it's constant fear of, I could at any point lose it all, so why do it, right? So why become like that? So get out and work, do something. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm okay. It's not amazing, work, just do anything. And it's not amazing wages, but it's something. And I've managed to build up the reserve again to give me an extra few months, right? And that again, that income will keep coming in, and then on top of that, for 4 months I'm going to help somebody run their business for free. So and I've made the offer anyway to the guy. He's a friend. He started, so I'll help him. And then after that, somebody else has asked me to set up a company, so I'm going to help them for 5 months. Again, that's going to be for free. I'll do those things for free because I'm generating a bit of an income, and I can eat and I can live. And then I got this stocks and shares on this side, and I know that this will go up to my target price eventually. Even after all the messing about in the market, it'll get there. So anyway, guys, this has been quite a long video, so I'll get off now. And you take care, guys. I'll put the links in the description if you want to check out the books I talked about, or the website I am currently building. Have a look, see what you think. Let me know, give me some feedback, and please like, subscribe, and comment. So anyway, guys, take care. Have a good day. Danny out.